Hi, and welcome to the channel. This is part 2 of numerous parts on how to build a Planta greenhouse that we purchased a couple of months ago. I'm going to show you how 95% of this frame that I put on in one day by myself can be done with two little tools: 8mm drive and a Phillips head screwdriver. Stick around, you're going to want to see this one. Okay, so we got a windy day today. Have patience with us. I wanted to show you all the last video you saw where we built the base, and I put those in, and where I seamed up the 2x6x16s to the 2x6x10s. And here's one of the biggest things I want to talk about right now. In my previous video, you can see the link above, I talked about the importance of having this to that and it having to be absolutely perfect in the extra steps I took. I'm going to show you why. See how if you take your time and you really get this squared up and you take it from the beginning, see that? And the lip, as you'll see in videos to come, is going to come right over the edge to about right here. There's going to be some straps that go over this. So that's very important. And then the lip here is going to come down, but it's got a little bit of variance. I was fortunate. I've never done one of these before, and it is spot on once I took the time. So I highly, highly recommend that you take the time. Now, let's talk a little bit about this. Each of these is in a frame, okay? And I call these ribs. I don't know what you would call them, but I call them ribs. And each of these have to be put together. And then there are these number 2s is what they call them, that go in. So the first thing that I did when you buy your kit is I put this together first. And then 2 of them come in a box. I went ahead and then the end one down here. So I have 2 doors, one on each side. So the first thing you're going to do is build those, okay? And once you get that done, put them to the side and then start working on these, okay? Now in your box, you're going to get a big stack of these, put them to the side. Start working on these. A couple of things to look out for when you're doing them. Right here, you can change it easily, but when you put these together, a couple of them I had upside down, and I think I just kind of got in the assembly line rhythm. So when I did this, once I got my outside ones done and I put them to the side, I went ahead and opened the other boxes, and I opened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I went ahead and did those and set them to the side, okay? Then what you're going to do, because you're not going to bolt anything in, you're going to get someone to hold this up. This was the only help I had. My beloved daughter came and held this. And you're going to want to screw these in, okay? Now, in the video, and from what I said earlier, in the video that I highly recommend you watch on how to put these together, you're going to see that they have a drill. I just found out, because this is a weak metal, and when I used the drill a couple of times, it actually stripped one out. And then if you start to use the drill and you've got your driver on this side and you're trying to hold it and you're doing like this, let me see if I can do this, and you do like that, and then you start using the screwdriver or the drill here, if it catches, you're going to strip that out. And so I used Phillips head and the normal one for everything, the driver for everything. These are fairly easy. So I did the entire greenhouse in one day. Okay, so let me go back and tell you, you do not screw in anything at the bottom until it's completely done. Planta has a manual that comes with it. Okay, I'm a manual guy. I like to look at that stuff. I did not find it to be but about 60% helpful. And that is not a downfall of theirs. What that essentially is they have, and I'm going to pay them a compliment, they have a wonderful video series that goes step by step on how to build these. And there's a couple of little intricacies on there that you can see that they're working on, that they struggle, that you can look out for. So let me talk a little bit about Phillips head, 8mm driver. Those are the 2 you have. I'm going to add something else to the playlist. You can take the screwdriver, the 8mm, and then add in Apple Tunes or whatever you use. In an 8-hour day of up here working on this, I had to have some Billie Holiday and some Etta James, little Nina Simone, and some Mazzy Star to get me through the day. It is time consuming. But take your Sunday afternoon playlist like I have that has all the nice mellow stuff and put that to work, because it is a lot of fun to put this thing together. The biggest thing is just the time monotony, and I wanted to see if I could do it by myself. I'm more of a put it together by myself type guy. I always have been, and if I can't, then I get help. I've got some really good friends that have offered to help. And a couple that got a little ill because I didn't ask them to help, I think because they wanted to learn. Yeah, you can do this by yourself. The biggest thing is, as I said, and you can see them right here, okay? There's 6,452,000,000 of these, roughly, that you're gonna have to put together. The great thing is, and again, like I said, Planta's manual is legit. I mean, it's good, but it doesn't cover everything. And you can go on YouTube, you can type in Planta Sungrow, they've got a Sigma, and you got to watch because there's a 2019 and a 2021. But for me, I just went and hit Planta Sungrow installation or assembly 2021, and I gotta give them credit. I mean, that YouTube series makes it about as easy as possible to get together. And I've already put the vents. There's a vent that goes here, or I guess you could say a window that goes right here. It comes down to about right here, and then I've got the door. And I'm working on those right now in my workshop, and I'm gonna have those. You have to go ahead and put on the polycarbonate. Now, let's talk a little bit about what I've got going on in here. So I wanted to know how much to put of a bench. Okay, so this is east, west, south, and north. So this is going to be my north side. So a lot of people that I've talked to, there's a lovely lady in Scotland that's helped me on YouTube. She has said, you know, she's got shelves actually in both of hers. So if you've got this from the south side, a lot of people will say put your high plants on this side and don't have that. I'm doing things a little bit differently for right now. I am only going to put my wall about halfway, or excuse me, not my wall, my table. But all I did with this was went ahead and put in my piece here. I will be putting down black tarp, and then I've got some leftover crush and run I'm going to lay down, and then I'm going to put pea gravel in here. But the reason I'm showing you this now is get an idea. Before you start, you want to get an idea of what you want to do inside. I thought I was going to build everything inside first. I'm not. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because the greenhouse kind of grows on you. And I know that may sound crazy, but as you're putting this together, or I can say for me, as I was putting this together, I got more of an understanding of what I wanted. And I recommend that you go on to, and I'll put a couple links, a couple of places that you can go and look at interior greenhouses. I don't even know if I'm going to use this door now that I've got it. I know that I'm only going to go halfway with the doors, or with the tables. They're going to come out 41 inches. And a lot of people will say, well, your trays, your 10, 20 trays are only going to be 20 inches. That's correct. But in the same instance, I don't want to have to add on down the road. And I'd rather have a 40-inch deep bench that's going to last me, and I can pile my stuff up, put whatever I want in there, than to build this and have a really wide walkway that I can't use for anything, and then want to build out. I'd rather have it that. And that's one of the reasons too that I'm only going halfway with the tables. I want it to kind of come to me and it grow internally with me as I'm building this thing. And I'm going to put some pots in the end. So, you know, I will have stuff. I don't plan to do any in the ground planting here. So that's the reason that the tarp is going down, and that's the reason that the gravel is going down. I will have 5-gallon buckets on top, but as of right now, not. Okay, so when you get the whole frame and everything done, it's going to just be freestanding on your 6x6s, okay? And once you start to lock everything in, you really are gonna see how stout this thing is. I mean, it is not going anywhere, okay? Here is all I did to screw them in for right now. I'll put a lag bolt in here, but you've got some straps that come over the top, all the way over, and they're on this beam, and they will come all the way down, mount in the ground, and you tighten them with a turnbuckle right here once everything's on. That's gonna be a doozy. That's gonna hold it in place. And I've heard some people say, hey, look, if you don't mount it into the ground, it's gonna blow off. I'm gonna tell you, this thing with the 6x6s, I've picked up everything here, and with this and the way that I've got it positioned west instead of, you know, so you can see this is a westerly direction, and this is where all of our wind, or 99.8% of it, comes from. I'm not worried with this narrow path. If it was going this way, you know, and it was coming this way, and it was the long way of the greenhouse, I would probably do more than I am. I am gonna bolt it down a little bit, but I think the straps going into the ground are gonna do it. I hope this video has been helpful. Keep watching the series. I'm gonna be going through this and showing you all how to do it. It's a little scatterbrained, or maybe I am, but I'm just trying to show how easy so far that this is. And the framework, the foundation, and everything is going really well. Shout out to those guys. They've given me nothing to promote them, but I'm gonna tell you again, so far, Planta Greenhouse, I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot.